How's it going, everyone? Landon with LMR.com. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a quick look at SVE's new and improved off-road X-Pipe for the 2011 to 2014 Mustang GTs, as well as providing some before and after dyno runs. This redesigned SVE off-road X-Pipe now features better fitment and is constructed from high-quality 409 stainless steel. A three-piece design is still utilized, which involves two catalytic pipes and a very nice integral X-pipe. All of the tubing is going to be mandrel bent for proper exhaust flow, and it has an overall diameter of 3 inches. Each rear O2 sensor bung is accurately placed on the catalytic pipes, along with the flanges that connect to the factory manifolds or a set of aftermarket shorty headers. Because of the catalytic design, you can expect an increase in horsepower and torque, and of course a louder exhaust note. Included in the box will be one X-pipe assembly, two 3-inch band clamps, 4 bolts, and 4 serrated locking nuts. Now, since this X-pipe does not have catalytic converters, it's of course intended for off-road use only. Also note that you will need a custom tune or a tune revision whenever you install this SVE off-road X-pipe onto your car. Before we kick things off, I have my 2014 GT here. I'm going to put it on the dyno and we'll make a few pulls to establish some baseline numbers. Now, for the most part, the car only has a few drivetrain and engine modifications, and those include a set of Ford Performance 373 gears, a one-piece aluminum drive shaft, and an SCT can tune. All of the pulls will be made in 4th gear, which is the 1-to-1 ratio for the 6R80 automatic transmission, and it does have 93 octane fuel. So our baseline numbers are as follows: 349 horsepower at 6,500 RPMs and 351 pound-feet of torque at 4,300 RPMs. That's not too bad, considering that this is an automatic car and drivetrain loss is a little more noticeable when comparing it to a manual car. Now, with our baseline numbers out of the way, I'm going to get the car off of the dyno and install our SVE off-road X-pipe. Before you begin, reach out to a friend so they can assist with the removal and installation process. Go ahead and support the car via a lift or jack stands. Since you'll be working near the starter, pop the hood and disconnect the negative battery cable. Depending on the age of the car, it may help if you spray a penetrating oil on each mid-pipe to manifold retaining nut. Of course, allow time to dwell. Either disconnect the electrical connections or loosen and remove each O2 sensor from the cat pipe. From within the engine bay, loosen and remove the outward nuts from both the passenger and driver side. This is done with a wobble socket and of course a long extension. Back underneath the car, loosen but do not remove the driver's side inward nut. This is easily done with a 15mm ratcheting wrench and a few taps from a dead blow to knock it loose. On the passenger side inward nut, utilize the same 15mm ratcheting wrench in conjunction with a large bar or a floor jack handle. Position the wrench in a way so that you can use the K-member as leverage for the large bar. Of course, loosen but do not fully remove the nut. Go ahead and support the factory mid-pipe with a pole jack or floor jack. Loosen the 2 clamps that secure the cat pipes to the mid-pipe. Separate the cat pipe and fully remove the nut, holding it in place from the manifold. The cat pipe is now free to come out, and you can do the same for the other side. Move the jack from the mid-pipe to the over-axle pipes. Loosen the 4 15mm nuts on the exhaust sleeves. You can now remove the mid-pipe from the car. Inspect and clean each manifold flange. Before removing each gasket from the cat pipe, make a reference mark or a mental note on their orientation. Not that they are side or direction specific, it seems like reinstalling them in the same manner as they were is easy on the mind, if you know what I mean. Apply anti-seize to all 4 of the provided bolts. On the passenger side, pass 2 of the provided bolts through the top side of the manifold with the threaded end facing towards you. Install the gasket over the bolts. Position the correct catalytic pipe into place and install 2 nuts. You'll know right away if you have the correct side or not. Remember, the O2 bungs will face towards the transmission. Help from a friend will be beneficial for this step. Run these down until there is just enough movement to adjust the pipe. Go ahead and do the same for the other catalytic pipe. The black line you see on the cat delete pipe is for the mid pipe and how far it needs to slide over each cat delete pipe. This was done off camera. Slide the 2 provided clamps over each cat delete pipe. Now before installing the X pipe, verify that you know the correct orientation. This is easily done by measuring the length of each leg on the X pipe. The passenger side has the longer leg. If needed, lower the over axle pipes just enough to install the X pipe over the cat delete pipes. Align each over axle pipe with the mid pipe and position the sleeves. Before tightening the nuts, jack up on the over axle pipes just enough to get them even with the X pipe. Tighten the 4 15mm nuts on the exhaust sleeves. Position each band clamp and fully tighten the 15mm nuts. These nuts torque to approximately 80 pound-feet. Now you can fully tighten the 4 14mm serrated locking nuts. Because of their design, you may or may not have to hold the 14mm head on the bolts. Before moving forward, now would be a good time to verify exhaust tip alignment. Apply anti-seize to the threads on each O2 sensor. If you removed your O2 sensors without disconnecting them, twist them counterclockwise a few turns before reinstalling. Reinstall each O2 sensor and then tighten them down. Reconnect the negative battery cable. Now you can go ahead and flash the PCM with the updated tune. It's always good to return to stock first and then upload the new tune. Of course, depending on battery age, hooking up a battery tender may be needed. Once the tune is loaded, start the car and check for exhaust leaks. Once everything checks out okay, you can get the car on the ground and then you're good to go. Now that the X pipe and the Lund Racing tune are installed, it's time to turn the rollers a few more times and see if there is any room for improvement. Like the baseline pulls, these were also done in 4th gear, and of course the car still had 93 octane fuel. With the addition of the SVE Off-Road X-Pipe and Lund Racing tune, this 2014 GT put down 366 horsepower at 6,400 RPMs and 364 pound-feet of torque at 4,300 RPMs. Peak gains are going to be good for 17 horsepower and 13 pound-feet of torque, which I think is really strong considering all that we did. Overall here, guys, the fitment is absolutely phenomenal. It tucks up nicely beside the frame rails, and even though you won't see it, the 409 stainless steel looks pretty darn good underneath the car. Now for the most current product pricing, product information, and of course availability, be sure and check out lmr.com. To see more how-to and review videos covering industry-leading products, be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, and don't forget to turn on notifications. While you're at it, check out our other videos, and of course for all things 1979 to present Mustang and SVT Lightning, keep it right here with the real enthusiasts, lmr.com.